on, everybody? Welcome back to exciting new episode of the Viall Files, Bachelor-ish, pop culture-ish edition. We have a lot to cover today. Oscar weekend just happened. I had the pleasure of going to some of the parties. It was fun. Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. So much to talk about. We'll dive into that. We have Serene zooming in. We also have my wonderful guest here, Halikas.
Yes, hello.
SI swimsuit model.
Woo.
Doing amazing things. And what do I have here? It's also an advocate for body positivity.
Yes. All the above.
But most importantly, huge Bachelor fan.
Yes.
And Ella's here to help us break down the new bios for the men who will be competing for the hearts of our two bachelorettes, Rachel and Gabby.
Yes.
Welcome, Ella. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. So excited.
So excited. Yes. It's Monday morning right after the Oscars. I want to get the pulse of this room with regards to Will Smith performance at the Oscars, which many people wondered if it was actually a performance. Did he hit Chris Rock? What was going on?
Right.
I went to Elton John's, not like his house, but he has a big post viewing party, which was really cool. Party everyone's talking about there.
Yeah.
What do we think? Just first, before we get into it, are we team Will Smith, team Chris Rock? It has to be one. Like, you just pick which side are you leaning, Chris or Will?
What are you guys thinking?
I think I'm leaning Chris.
I feel like I'm leaning Will.
Really?
Little bit.
I could not be more all the way. I'm not even leaning. I'm just sturdy on Chris Rock's side.
Really? Okay.
My instinct was Team Will, but it seems like everybody whose opinion I respect is saying Chris.
Why was your instinct
Because
Team Will?
I think coming from a place of like, I don't think he handled it in the best way possible, but I think the instinct of like wanting to defend someone you care about, especially feeling like someone with a very public platform is talking about them in a way that they can't respond to. I understand that instinct of being like, I'm loyal to this person and I want to have repercussions. But I think it was the way that he went about those repercussions that seemed to be.
What about you, Ella?
Okay, I think that like when you're pushed to a limit, I feel like in the media, everything's like Jada, entanglement, Jada, are they in love? No, she had like an affair, da-da-da-da. It's like, the media has been slandering the relationship for so many years now. When you're pushed to that limit, like, do I ever think violence is the answer? No. But do I think when you're pushed to a point where you literally have to smile and laugh everything off, it comes to a point when you're like, dude, I will literally smack you in the face. Like, don't play me about my wife. Like, it was almost like a protection thing. Do I think he did it right? No. But, like, I get where it was coming from. You know what I mean?
But
like,
what do you think about the fact that when the joke happened and it panned to them, Will's
Will's
laughing?
That was interesting.
And I saw a comment of I don't know if it was on who posted it and who commented it, but it was like, Will was laughing until he saw his wife's face.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he was like, oh, shit.
And then he's like, I got to do something.
But
right.
I always, like, you guys know me. I don't know. Well, you don't know me that well, Ella, but
right.
I'm not a huge fan of the of what I kind of refer to buzzwords in terms of the things on the internet you see. All these things like have its place and they're all a real thing, but the internet kind of takes them and waters them down, and people start using buzzwords, not really knowing what they mean.
Mm-hmm.
And the buzzword I'm referring to here is toxic masculinity, and I don't even know how to define it, to be honest, in the sense if you were to, my point is, if you were to go walk around, the street and be like, hey, what do you think is toxic masculinity? I think you get like 100 different definitions from 100 different people.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked up the definition of toxic masculinity.
Thank you.
She's on it.
And it is a set of attitudes and ways of behaving stereotypically associated with or expected of men, regarded as having a negative impact on men and society as a whole.
Okay. Very vague. We can really pretty much.
I think it's hard to group this specific situation as like society or like, you know what I mean? Because this specific situation with like the reason why she like doesn't have the hair and like her health reasons, like I think it got a little bit deeper and more personal of like, oh, that's like a personal jab.
Oh, listen.
Right?
I think Will Smith and more specifically Jada have every right to like be offended and upset.
Right.
We always say on this show, you are allowed to feel however you feel about anything. Mm-hmm. How we control and handle our feelings is what separates people in terms of maturity, character,
yeah.
things like that. Will Smith is also, I saw this video once, and it was really quite charming. It was Will Smith, I think it was James Corden. I don't know. They were like driving,
yeah.
and he was like, should we crash this wedding? And like they made this joke about like, is it going to be okay? And Will Smith was like, everyone loves me. I'm Will Smith. And everyone does. And like, so for Will Smith of all people to go up there on stage and give this kind of speech that was like, hey, you know, in this role, we're expected to take a lot of, you know, jabs and criticism.
Right.
And like being a part of Bachelor Nation, like, I know, I'm sure as a model, you know that like,
Totally.
you can get, like, I get it all. But like, that's the time to like, that's your justification to like,
Right.
hit a colleague for a comedian who's there to tell a joke. Also, he like ruined his own moment. Like, no one's talking about Will Smith winning his first Oscar.
Right.
Like, at all.
Right. He
I
almost
don't
like
know.
stole the show in a way too, like not in a great way.
Yeah, well, I think it's also a question of like, was this an action that we think of as being like thought out? Like, no, you know, like I think part of it is being like, I don't know that this was a particularly like strategic, considered. What are all the implications of this? How is this
Right.
going to impact the night? How is Jada going to feel about
sure,
this?
yeah.
And so I think it's like hard because I think sometimes it's like, I feel like this happens in fights all the time where it's like if one person is getting stimuli that they feel like is kind of crazy and they respond in a way that's kind of crazy, it's very easy to just look at the person who's responding and be like, you're crazy. And it's like, right, but you were feeding me crazy. And so I don't think that justifies it at all. But I do think we should contextualize this as like a heat of the moment decision that was probably like,
Not thought through.
yeah, that was probably like so much adrenaline.
Totally.
Do you think it was even heightened because he laughed for a second? Like maybe he felt bad for not registering it the way his wife did, so then he
Maybe.
reacted even more?
Or was it a laugh of like, now that I'm thinking back on it, or was it a laugh of like, oh, like, fuck you. Can I cuss? Like,
I'm going to kill you.
you know what I mean? Like,
No,
like an evil laugh.
I honestly think he thought it was funny, looked at his wife, and realized
She was sad.
he empathized for his wife. Like that happens all the time in relationships. You realize, oh, it is funny because it's not about me.
Mhm.
And then you realize, oh shit, like, yeah, I need to have the back of my partner.
Right.
I don't fault Will Smith for laughing at the joke. And I can totally make sense why he looked at his wife and thought, you know what, that is fucked up. And you know what, I am mad and I need to defend the honor of my wife. I get all that.
Right.
But like, yeah, I think it was premeditated? Like, you know, if of course not. But that doesn't.
But did you see the caption before where he's like, we woke up and chose chaos before that event happened? Him and Jada's post was like, we decided to wake up and choose chaos. And I was like, wait,
I think
chaos
he
is this
it.
actually
Little did
chose?
you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, you manifested chaos tonight. You literally manifested.
I feel like, I don't know if that aged beautifully or poorly, depends on how you look at it.
What?
The thing for me is, I thought his response and his speech was more egregious than him hitting Chris Rock, because I cannot stand it when people bring up God as a way to justify their behavior. And so Will Smith to go up there and say, there was some meme that's, you could probably find it quick, but it's another actor and he's like killing someone or something. And it's like Will Smith. And then it's like a meme saying, you know, God chose me to like love people.
Right.
You know, it's just like he brought up like God as a way. He's like, I'm here and like brought by God. I don't know exactly what he said, but it was like, you could tell he was referring to what just happened and trying to make it seem like, you know, I'm here to love and I'm here to protect my family. And it was just like, you embarrass yourself and you embarrass, you know, like, I don't know. There seemed to be no like accountability and like, and then he's partying, he's kind of laughing it off. I just thought it was bizarre. And then like Chris Rock, you could tell it was holding back tears because he was so caught off guard, minus the fact that he got physically hit. That looked like it hurt.
Right.
And then,
I think he was more shocked too.
Yeah, and then I think his words hurt even more. I mean, I get why if I'm suffering from alopecia, I can understand why I'd be sensitive and hurt my feelings. So yeah, it just was wildly bizarre. Rothy's, get your handbags, your shoes, all the amazing things that Rothy is making from recyclable plastic, no less. Amazing. You would never have guessed it. I don't know if you've ever seen a pair of Rothy's. Cool looking shoes. Also super comfortable. No break-in period. And they always look brand new because you can throw them in the wash at any point. You can go mudding in them. You can go hiking. I have these fancy loafers, my Rothy's, and they're fashionable. Like you can wear them as like a summer dress up, if you will. And if I wanted to go hiking and mudding in them, I could. And the next day, I could go to a wedding and they would look brand new. Why? Because you just throw them in the wash. Anyway, they make a lot of great stuff. And not just for women now. Now they're thinking of us men. Comfort, washability, durability. Rothy's has it all. Step up your shoe and accessories this spring and get ready to be asked, are those Rothy's? Plus, get $20 off your first purchase at rothys.com/VIALL. That is ROTHYS.com/VIALL. Peloton. Woo! Get your Peloton on. Hey, Peloton is doing amazing things in fitness, and it's not just with their exercising bikes, which are amazing, by the way. It's more than just a bike. It's an experience. It's so great. You have this community of people you can compete with and get in shape with. So you can still exercise from the comfort of your home with one of their amazing pieces of equipment, whether it's their treadmill, whether it's their exercising bike. Also, you can do it equipment free now. They have all these different types of classes. Oh, yeah. And like I said, they now have boxing. So Peloton is stepping up into the ring with their newest discipline. No gloves needed. So you just need the Peloton app. Even if you have never boxed before, these classes will have you working up a sweat. Peloton's daily workout variety. It's easier to stick with your goals when you keep the workouts interesting. Peloton has a workout for every day and every schedule. De-stress from a long day with 30 minutes of strength and 20 minutes of cardio. Do a quick 15 minutes total body class before work. Such a variety with Peloton. Visit onepeloton.com to learn more. That is ONEPELOTON.com. This was crazier than the La La Land
envelope situation with Moonlight.
There were tweets about that, of how this is just like usurped.
Tops it. Yeah.
Like who would have thought that would have been top? But this is tops it for sure, right?
Yeah. It was just so shocking.
It's like I got so many different texts from like group chats that haven't been active in ages. Just being like, did everybody see that? Like,
oh, I'm sure the ratings went through the roof. Like it was everyone was talking about it. Yeah.
And then I saw this morning that Chris Rock declined to file any charges or a police report with the LA Police Department. And I'm wondering, is that considered potentially toxic masculinity? In the sense, well, you shake your head so quickly, no, but I also wouldn't if I were Chris Rock either. But like, why is he not? The man was...
Because maybe it'll just make more issues.
Well, but I'm saying, like, I think it's because he's a guy. There's an expectation from society, even on himself, to say,
rub it off your shoulders.
Rub it off your shoulders. Yeah. Don't like stoop to that level. Don't like, be a man. Kind of like toughen up.
I disagree because I feel like majority of people, I mean, even as we're discussing it, like he's a comedian. People have reasons to defend him. He's a comedian. He was making a joke. He didn't know. And I feel like if he took it to the next level of, trying to do a police report, trying to get, whatever.
Not trying to. They literally came up to him
like,
hey, man.
But I think a lot of people would say you're blowing it out of proportion.
We got the evidence.
Yeah. I think people might turn on him. Like people in his camp
he
might
get maybe
leave.
like a lot of hate for
it.
That's or like,
my point, though.
He didn't want to take that.
That is my point.
Yeah.
The fact that he is thinking and considering that people would turn on him isn't that pressure of toxic masculinity. You read the definition and
like
it's
get over it, bro.
It's a very vague definition that basically says anything that is like societal pressure of the way like men have historically behaved that can be deemed as toxic.
I think also like it could affect like work, like they're in the same field. Had he been like a random guy on the street was like, oh, Jada, you look like da-da-da. Like, yeah, the guy's gonna press charges because you just disrespect, like, you know what I mean? You just hit him. But like they're in the same field, they like run in the same circles. Like it's a little bit deeper than like, yeah, let's just file a police report. You know what I mean? Like it runs deeper on like that level of like their work, their friendship, they're like they go way back in the day. Like it's a little bit probably more complex where he's probably like, honestly, like, fuck it. Like, no, like I'm just not gonna.
Yeah, it's interesting. Chris Rock really hasn't said anything.
Yeah, he hasn't made a statement or anything.
Yeah.
Do you think Will should have been like escorted out? Because that was another big thing. Like, why did he get to just sit down after? People were pissed.
Yeah, I don't know. that was before he won, right? So we were
Yeah.
all just like, and like the vote was already in.
Yeah, like
it
that was
like,
done.
Had he, it wasn't like, oh, can't give it to Will anymore.
He's not here, or like if he left, but
It was insane. It was truly insane
Live television.
to
man.
walk up
Right.
two adult men and one of them walks up and tries to fight. What if Chris Rock would have tried to defend himself? You know, and they got in like a
Mhm.
brawl. And like Chris Rock would have been like justified at that point to defend himself. Could you imagine?
right. Messy. Just would have looked so bad. Like the Oscars would have been done. Like, I don't know. Just think would have taken a massive wrong turn. It already did, but the way he handled it, I think, was probably the best way he could have.
Yeah.
But
no,
not you like
I
A
couldn't
ton of professionalism.
I couldn't
Yeah.
be more team Chris Rock in this situation. And as someone who's been a long time Will Smith fan, it was
yeah.
a bummer to see him ruin his own moment. And the longer he just keeps pretending it wasn't a big deal,
Mhm.
like he's giving a lot of quotes being like, oh, tonight's amazing, and blah, blah, and like kind of almost like played it off, I think it's just a bad look on him. And for someone who like talks a lot about accountability and character and things of that nature,
Mhm.
like I just feel like he doesn't get to put out motivational quotes until he maybe like steps up and
Thinks
like
about that a little bit more.
owns like just how uncalled for that all was. And you can
Mhm.
defend the honor of your wife without doing what he did. I'm not in any way suggesting that Jada or Will don't have the right to be offended by
Mhm.
what Chris said, but there's definitely more productive ways of handling it.
For sure.
We have Serene calling in. Let's bring her in.
Hi.
Hi, there we go. Serene, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I know. We were hoping to have you last week, but then you were traveling, and then so thank you for taking the time. We just wanted to check in with you. I guess, like in general, how's life been post show? Like, how are you feeling about everything? What are you up to right now?
I am still teaching, and so it's been kind of crazy just getting back into the groove of things. I started back after Christmas break, and I started with a new class all over again. And so it's been kind of wild, but life's been really good.
What grade do you teach?
The beginning of this school year, I started off teaching third, and then they needed to move me to second grade. So I moved to second grade, and I've been with like 7 to 8 year olds.
So do they, I mean, that's
cute.
like an age I think most parents don't let their kids watch The Bachelor. So are you,
Right.
do you,
Right.
do they know, like they're so young, do some of them know that you're on TV? Like, and do they have any like concept of what's going on?
So honestly, no one knew. Like obviously, like my principals and coworkers knew and things like that. But as soon as I got back, that was the first thing I was wondering. I was like, are they going to be asking me questions about this? The answer was no. But then like last week, kids started being like, are you on TV? Are you on TV? But I didn't have any issues with it during, while I was on the show at all, which I guess I kind of lucked out on that because I didn't want to have to talk to my students about it.
Right.
Have you had parent-teacher conferences since you've been on the show?
I had, but no one said anything.
Really?
That's interesting.
Really?
Well-behaved parents.
Yeah.
Because like I could just, I'm sure like most of them would, but there's always gonna be like one or two who'd be like at the end, be like, oh, I just gotta ask.
Right.
Like,
Right. Cave in. Like,
Right.
I'm shocked.
They probably know though. Like they're
Yeah.
probably like, Hannah, like, your teacher, she was on like they probably
It's
probably
just
know.
like this like unspoken thing.
Yeah, 100%.
So Serene, you were in the audience for Tuesday night's finale. I'm curious. I mean,
Mhm.
we've had the pleasure of talking to Susie. She was very impressive. Everyone kind of seems happy. You got Rachel and Gabby as the Bachelorettes, but like you seem like a very well thought out kind of looking at all aspects. Where did you kind of stand on as someone like you went, being the third runner up, do you call it that, or the hometowns, like you kind of
Mhm.
avoided all this mess. And so I can only assume that it must have hit close to home, realizing that you could have just as easily been in that position had Clayton, say sent one of those other 3 women home. So what was your interpretation of what was going down from Fantasy Suites towards the end? And did that at all change for you now that you see things have played out? You know, where do you stand on all that?
Right. So I initially was really sad when I went home, just trying to make sense of it, because honestly, I was shocked. Like, everybody is like, you were stone faced. Like, no, I was just so shocked that I didn't have anything to say, honestly. And, you know, I had time to heal. You know, I didn't go right back into teaching or anything like that. I'm very close with the other 3 women. And so I kind of had an idea of things that went down, but like, I didn't ever really ask because I didn't want to know. So watching it, I was pretty shocked. I was obviously glad that I wasn't there. And I mean, it was just a whole mess. But, you know, no regrets. 100% glad I was not there for that.
What do you think you would have done had you been in Rachel or Gabby's shoes?
It's hard to say because I'm really emotional, and I think part of me would have been more like Rachel after the fact, but I think in the moment I would have been a little more like Gabby. I honestly think that they both handled it the best that they could, but I think it would have been like a mixture of the two. You know, and that's kind of how it was when I went home, and you guys didn't get to see all of that. But like,
what didn't we get to see, Serene?
I was so shocked that I didn't really say much. And then I was really emotional, but mostly just upset and angry because I felt, you know, a little blindsided.
When you're lining up for those rose ceremonies, especially towards the end, having been in that position before, you're like wondering, am I safe or am I not safe? And someone who's mentioned that how surprised you were, you got to be thinking, who's going home, right?
Exactly.
So in your mind, when you went home, like obviously all exceptional women, but who did you think in that moment might be going home for you to stay?
I honestly had no clue. And I had kept saying, I think even the week before hometowns, it was the first time that I was like, I really have no clue what's going to happen. And even then, I still felt really secure in my relationship, which, you know, there's obviously a lot that we don't get to see, but I felt really secure pretty much the entire way through. And so those last 2 rose ceremonies that I participated in, I really started to kind of get nervous. Like, you see someone like Teddy go home before you and you're like, oh my goodness, it could be anyone next time. And I think that's what we were all thinking. I knew as soon as it was down to me and Rachel, I was like, I'm going home. I knew as soon as it was down to Rachel and I that there was no way that I was staying.
Well, that's the thing is, it's like in my experience, there's like the house usually always like thinks there's at least one front runner. Was that Rachel for most people?
I think for me, it was Susie, and Susie and I were roommates the entire time. So I kind of had different insight than a lot of people.
Okay.
But it was very apparent that he and Rachel had a connection. Like, I didn't see any of the stuff. I didn't see any of the interactions that we saw in the show, obviously, because I wasn't on their dates with them. I wasn't on very many group dates with Rachel, but like when she keeps getting like group date rose after group date rose, like, it's like, okay, like they really have something going, you know what I mean? And so that was kind of my perception of it.
I just think it was so cool how open and vulnerable, like you just like let your walls down, which was cool. And I think in that position, it's so hard to like, it's scary. Like you're putting your like heart on the line. And I think as scary and like more shelled you seem to have been before the show, I think it was like a beautiful moment because a lot of people would regret that. Like, I wish I didn't like, you know, drop my walls. Like, this is what happens when I'm vulnerable. Like, I don't receive it back. But like, I think in that moment was so beautiful because it showed you like, had it been the right person, like how beautiful that would be. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't want you to get like cold towards it because I think what was really cool is like you showed yourself almost like you surprised yourself how great it can be when you drop the walls down and you're like so honest with your feelings. So I thought that was really cool.
No, and I really appreciate that because I it's kind of like a combination of things. He made me really comfortable and able to open up, but it was just an issue of like, I'm not used to being this vulnerable. So like, how do I do it? It wasn't that I didn't want to, or that I didn't trust him with those feelings. But one thing I wanted to make sure of is that I looked back on this regardless, you know, of when I left or how I left, and that, you know, I laid everything out there and was 100% honest about how I felt. Like, one thing I cannot do is leave things unsaid. And so I just wanted to make sure that I left it proud of my experience, but like feeling like I did myself a service by laying it all out there. You know, everyone knows how I feel. And so that's what I pushed myself to do every week, because I really did, you know, want a relationship out of it. And I knew that, you know, with it being a TV show and all of that, I would 100% have to open up for it to be real for me. And so that's what I tried to do the whole time. It was really hard. It was uncomfortable every week, but I felt like each week in our relationship, there was enough support for me to keep doing that more each week, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. 2 more burning questions for you. First one, regarding your hometown. And we were discussing this when it all happened. But your brother was like a star of hometowns, right? We all loved him, and he had a very emotional moment. And we kind of discussed, we wondered, and I wondered, because, you know, you went home during hometown. So we don't really know where Clayton's head was at. Obviously, it seemed like he really was all kind of mishmashed and really didn't know what the fuck he was doing. But often in that case, the lead kind of knows kind of where they're at, right? And it's a very vulnerable moment to have production come into your house. It's very personal. It's almost like too personal. And then the show comes in, and they kind of push you and your family to have these kind of bonding moments, only to find out you got sent home. And I'm wondering, what was your perception, and even your brother's perception of that moment? Even if knowing that Clayton sent you home, or let's say even if you found out that Clayton always knew that you were going to go home that weekend before he even walked into your family's house, like that can kind of almost feel like, wait, you knew? And I don't know if he did. I'm just wondering. But that allowed you to have this kind of beautiful moment with your brother. Like, do you like look back on that, regardless of how it went down and why it went down, whether it was production was involved or it was a completely organic moment, and then he finally at the rose ceremony figured out that he was going to send you home? Like, how do you look at that experience and say, you know what, no matter what, I'm glad I had that moment, you know, for your brother on national television to look like the greatest brother of all time, and you have that bonding moment? Like, how do you see that now, having stepped away from it?
First and foremost, I honestly, like, I have been thinking about this a lot, and I feel like maybe I've been asked before, but I don't regret any of it. So if I could do it over, I would have the same experience, because I believe that everything happens for a reason. But, you know, with those conversations with my mom and my brother, like, you guys didn't get to see my entire conversation with my mom. And I kind of talk about, you know, not having a super emotional family a lot. And so those conversations that I got to have with my mom and my brother that night meant the world to me. And, you know, it was like this sweet thing that, you know, came out of something that it didn't go how I expected, but I will always remember those conversations. And honestly, having it filmed is kind of funny, because like, we aren't super, like, my family isn't emotional. And so for all of us to get to watch that back together and, you know, remember the things that we said, it was really cool. And so I don't regret any of that. It is kind of like this sweet thing to come out of this, you know, crazy situation.
Okay, one final question. You seem like, again, you're more like at the tell-all. You were more on the quieter side, like kind of above the fray. You're a teacher, so obviously you deal with a lot of personalities in class. There were 2 big controversies talked about at the tell-all. One was Sarah, and there's a little bit of back and forth between her and Teddy. And then, I don't know if you've ever listened to this show, but we've discussed Shanae quite a bit. And the audience, like, I always try to bring a level of like, hey, it's a TV show. We don't know exactly how things went
Right.
down. I'm not in any way defending Shanae's behavior, but let's just, before we judge her as a atrocious person with bad character. And then when we watched the tell-all, I was just like kind of shocked by many of the women's actions towards Shanae, regardless of what Shanae did. And I was wondering, how did you see that? I know, like, your friend, we had Genevieve on, we asked her about it. She seemed to kind of double down and was like, nah, fuck this. I don't regret anything. I was like, okay, like, fine. But like, I was just curious, how do you see that? I mean, you were with Shanae, like, do you think that at her core she's a bad person, or do you think maybe she got caught up in the moment and she needs to like own up to that? Where do you see this, and do you think that the way the women handled themselves at the tell-all was justified?
I will say with both Shanae and Sarah, I was kind of in a unique position because I wasn't involved in any of it. Like with Sarah, I wasn't one of the women that was specifically hearing things from her. I do know that, you know, when you have Susie, you have Rachel, you have Gabby, you have Teddy, all saying the same things, it kind of becomes, you know, I don't think that many of these women with like great character are lying. So that's kind of where I stood with that one. I do think maybe she got caught up in, you know, I don't know, that one's tough because I wasn't there for it, but I do believe the things that were being said. It was kind of being approached as, I'm your friend, so I'm telling this so you don't get your heart broken, which I was like, oh no.
I see.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't believe that. I'm like, that she is like messing with you guys. Like, do I think she's a bad human? No, I think she got entirely caught up. And with Shanae and I never had any issues. Like, oftentimes during all of this, like, you can watch it back. She's sitting right next to me because like I never came for her. I was never really upset with her because nothing happened personally between she and I, but I did watch it all. I was there for all of it. And what you guys saw was real. You know, at the women tell all, there was so much time spent on her hot seat. And still, I don't personally have an issue with her, but I do have an issue with her behavior. And at the women tell all, there was so much that you guys didn't get to see, things that couldn't be aired because of the language that was being used coming from Shanae. And a lot of what you saw with the women were them reacting to that after sitting through it for so long.
Could you give us a little like...
She did have a chance to speak. We all got quiet at points and we were like, please, like, we just want to understand where you're coming from. And she would just kind of double down and be like, I'm not sorry. And I think if she would have said, you know what, I don't like you guys and I did this because I don't like you guys, I don't respect you guys, but I do see where you're coming from, I think even that would have been fine. But it was kind of just, a lot of it didn't make sense. Like, we really wanted her to explain herself just so we could know, like, the rest of the world wants to know what's going on and like why those things are happening. And so she didn't really explain herself or like why she did or said some of the things that, you know, we saw on TV.
Yeah, that's helpful. Can you give us a one line of that, something that she said at Tell All that didn't make ABC Disney's telecast? Because we can swear on this podcast, Serene. We won't bleep you out.
She called Genevieve a word that I would never say out loud, regardless of who is around.
Can you spell it?
C word.
It's a very special C word.
Okay.
Yeah.
and some of Genevieve's reaction was to that. And I mean, yeah, it's TV and yeah, there's going to be like drama. But when I tell you, like, my mouth fell open and I was just like, oh my goodness. Especially for people giving her a chance and like trying to hear her out, you know, of course, like, you see like the reactions to that and you're like, oh my goodness, this is horrible. But I think she deserves some of it. I do think she's a human, but I really would have liked her to at least say, like, you know what, maybe I did get a little bit caught up. I did hear like little snippets of her on the Talking It Out podcast. And I think if she would have said some of the stuff that she said on that podcast while we were at Women Tell All, we would have a very different narrative right now. I think everybody just wanted to move on from it. And we were honestly shocked that it just like exploded even more.
Interesting. Are we going to see you on Paradise?
We might.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like if you want to go, Serene, they'll be happy to have you, is my gut.
Mm-hmm.
I would be shocked and dismayed if they felt like. So would you go if you're asked?
I had a really good experience on the show. And so, you know, with leaving it without having my guy, I would definitely be interested in another opportunity because my feelings were real that I do feel like I could really find a relationship out of it if I were given that opportunity. And so I think I would go if I had the opportunity to.
Amazing. I love that. Who, if anyone, of previous seasons, and we're about to break down some of the new men on the upcoming season. I don't know if you had a chance to look at those profiles. But is there anyone, and we won't hold you to it because obviously anything can happen, but anyone pique your interest of like someone that you're at least curious to get to know better? You can give multiple names too if you want.
I think for me right now, and like don't hold me to this.
We don't hold you to it, yeah.
You know, I would like to say first that I'm really big on personality. And so I don't know if I meet these people, like, am I really going to like them in real life?
Yeah, for sure.
But right now I think Andrew's really cute. He's funny. Rodney seems so sweet. Brandon, like watching him, like coming back and watching him, I would love for somebody to love me the way that he loved Michelle. And so, like, I kind of look at the show and I watch, you know, I mean, obviously we don't see everything, but what I can learn about their personalities, I guess. And I think they all have really great personalities. I met Rodney in passing, just like a quick hi, at Women Tell All. But yeah. Well,
I've met the other two as well. Very impressive young men, and I thought they're really. I would date them. I mean, if I were in that situation, they're really. I really
You're like I would date them.
Andreas is great. He's fantastic, and Brandon, he does whoever he loves, he's gonna love hard for sure.
Yeah, I feel like you could really see that from the show. So.
All right. Well, thank you for taking the time. We appreciate it. Best of luck. Hope to see you again. Say hi to the kids for us. And thanks for bringing up the youth of America and all that fun stuff. Thank you for your hard work.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
All right.
Nice
take care.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. What a lovely human.
So cute.
I feel
Good
like
vibes.
we like her just the same.
Right. And she was like, no drama. Like, I wanted to like also tell her, just like, you were so cool. The whole, like, you know?
Yeah, she had a little no drama for this interview for us because she could tell she.
But she was just like, you know what? I'm here for him. She kept it like real. Like, she just seems so cool.
Yeah, she's great. All right, let's get into these men, shall we? I'm thinking, you know, I'm thinking to myself because obviously we put these episodes on YouTube audio wise. I wonder how many people will watch this on the YouTube one. Or like if you listen to this on audio, go and maybe check out the YouTube where you can see the graphics of the guys. I'd like to end this with picking both Gabby's and Gabby and Rachel's top four.
Ooh.
Because I think they're both gonna have like within this one season their own season.
Right.
You know, I think they're gonna have their own top four.
But will there be overlaps?
I think maybe early on, but
I love their friendship too much for it to mess it up.
I think if it happens, it will come from the guy.
Yeah.
It'll be the guy making it seem
true.
I just stand by
or the producer is wanting it to be.
But I think the producers have to really thread the needle because it really can't look like they're pitting the women against each other.
That's true.
I just think every season you have your clear standouts of like quality
guys.
Cast.
Yeah.
You know?
True.
In terms of the looks, the personality, the charm, I think. And there's always like one or two. I just keep like, if there is a Tyler Cameron on this season,
Oh my God, Tyler Cameron.
what's good? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
You know what I
100%.
just thought of randomly regarding The Bachelorette? When Dean was interviewed about having dated Gabby, he said, oh, she'll win. And if she doesn't win, she'll be the next Bachelorette. Wow.
Wow, interesting.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Good
That
one.
just really
She just remembered that.
came to the front of my brain.
She said, wait.
I've heard some stuff about that relationship, but
Ooh.
yeah, I can't share.
The tea. It's hot.
All right, well, let's bring up. Why don't you guys just run it, and then we'll comment. Bring up the bios. We got Alec, 27.
Alec G.
Houston.
Alec G. Looks like a nice guy.
Yeah, got a polo.
Right. He looks a little, yeah.
Are those earrings?
Yeah, there's something going, like, there's some jewelry. Are the earrings? Well, like, quick zoom in. Are those hoops? No.
It looks like it could be.
It looks like it could be something.
It's not bad.
He seems very confident in that pose. Like, chin up, looking pretty sharp.
What are the
think-
chances? I think maybe the way to do this is on a scale of 1 to 10.
Okay.
10 being bottle service every weekend, and 1 being they read books on Saturdays.
Okay.
Where do we see this gentleman?
Oh, he's in the club. He's partying it up.
Right? You
Big
see him-
partier.
I'm gonna give him like a 7. He's certainly like he might not, the doorman might not know him, but
Right.
like on the regular, him and his
He
buddies.
like thrived in college. You know what I'm saying?
But
He-
like, why is he taking this photo in a hallway?
I mean,
It
'Cause
should have been in a club.
because he's just a guy who
It's like
was
the background's blurred
who
too.
asked his sister to take a
just portrait
photo.
mode.
Yeah,
Portrait
portrait
mode.
mode.
Yeah.
Portrait mode in the living room. Mom, take this, bro. Take this.
I
Bro.
remember taking my version of these, and they're worse. So I am not one to judge.
That's a great photo.
Yeah,
Frat guy, kind of a little fratty.
a little fratty.
Little
Yeah,
fratty.
the polo is like a universally fratty shirt. I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, that smile is like, I'm ready.
But who knows? He looks like he's charming.
Mm-hmm. He's got game. For
Yeah, he
sure.
definitely looks like he's got game.
For sure.
All right, what else we got?
See, he's cute. That's
See-
my top, I think.
He looks like he makes a great first impression. Very
Yes.
suave.
but not
The
like douchey, not
no,
bratty.
yeah, a very
No,
a very
it's genuine.
Yeah.
a very aw shucks.
Mhm.
He could be a sneaky douche,
Yeah.
True.
right? Where Alec, it's kind of like from 10 feet away, you got, I don't know, like
I say he's at least top 5 in the end. Top 5.
Yeah,
he's
he's
very
cute.
attractive. He's got a very natural, even in the shitty photo, and by shitty photo, not of him, but it's like he's
The
just like
lighting.
standing there,
Yeah, the lighting.
almost
could
caught
be.
off guard. It's a very effortless.
I feel like it's hard for guys to take. That might
Yeah.
be
Do
rude.
we do we
you
know
I
what
mean?
these guys do? Do we have anything more?
There's not bios up on the website yet.
So this is basically
Mm.
like, this is the version of, this is like the final reference check. That they do this not for us. This is an added benefit that they release it early because it is
Mhm.
not for us in podcast to review. It is for
Right.
like Bachelor Internet
To come out of the woodwork.
come out of the
with their
woodwork
rumors.
and find out like what did the background check
Yeah.
Chit Kat miss. Because like thing is about the background check is like you don't have, like there's so many platforms now, and TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and all these things, and you can search your own tag photos, but like you can't search just as easily photos like say you're not tagged in, or
Mhm.
photos that like maybe don't even exist on the internet yet that someone might go back and be like, isn't that
True. Yeah.
Avon? You know,
We had
and
class
so
together.
and so
Yeah.
this is their last attempt at like, did these guys do any shit? Let us know.
yeah, it's like all the 16-year-old bbrilliant Gen Z researchers who like
100%
are
FBI's everywhere.
absolute FBIs.
Absolute agents. Like
Ooh,
Brandon's got a headshot.
Brandon, he's gonna be a sweet guy.
yeah.
Big sweetheart.
I think he might be quiet and home by week 3.
Okay. Respect. That's a good
He
guess.
just looks like he got casted because he's incredibly handsome. This looks like a professional photo, like a LinkedIn.
headshot. Big headshot guy.
Like
Yeah.
like a working professional link. I bet this is his LinkedIn. This could be his
Yeah.
LinkedIn profile picture.
This photo looks like it belongs in a locket.
Oh,
You know, like that,
locket?
yeah, that you like wear around your neck.
I
Yeah.
haven't heard that.
Oh, he's
in
only
so long.
23.
Youngin, but he looks grown.
He looks like he could be the voice of reason.
Yeah, but I see, like he seems like someone who might come on and just be like, this is kind of crazy. And he took like time off from he's only 23. So like financial
Young.
services, like job, or maybe just got a job as like
Makes a whole career for
farmer
him.
rep. And he's like, I don't know, this is not really getting fired
Yeah.
over, and he doesn't like say all that much. And he like, and maybe, and again, like how it generally works is the leads into you, yes or no?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is there,
If the connection's
that has nothing to do with whether you're a quality person or it's just instant gut reactions. And then the second like tier of like stanking around is, do you have opinions? Do you talk? Do you insert yourself in conversations, or do you clam up and get a little quiet? And if the lead doesn't like you and you clam up, you go home, right? You can be quiet if the lead's into you, but you can't be quiet if they're they're just like, oh, they're Brandon is
time
hot.
is clicking.
Yeah.
You gotta
So
make that
I don't know. I
impression.
feel like he might.
The 23 of it all,
Yeah.
I think is.
But he looks so grown. I'm so confused.
And Gabby and Rachel are what, 27 and like 30, 29?
I believe Gabby's 30 or 31, and Rachel, I think, was 26 when the season was airing. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah,
if
it's
she's-
not
23
listed
is-
in their bios.
23's young.
That's a baby.
especially for a man. I have
In the traditional like men, very
like ready to get
I
married.
believe they're out there, but I have never in my life met a 23-year-old man who I thought,
That was ready,
we
too.
could build a life together where you're at right now.
I used to be like, when I remember being 23 and used to be really offended when people would say like women mature faster than men, and then I'd have like my women friends who would date other men, and I'd be like, yeah, whatever. And then I got older and I started meeting like 23-year-old guys, and at times I'd be like, are you okay?
Right.
Half the time I'd just be like,
literally, are you okay?
what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
And certainly there are plenty of people who can impress.
Right.
But yeah, it is.
That's young.
It is shocking just how much faster women mature more than men in the early 20s age range.
True.
And just for clarification, Rachel is 26 right now and Gabby is 31.
Okay.
Thank you.
And
That's
Chris
an-
A is 30.
I wonder how much, if at all, like the age will be discussed or played a role, especially now that you have like these 30 men, and they, I think, are going to have to like pick who's their people. And will that even be a topic of conversation, or will that play a role in their minds? Like, I guess in the sense that we often don't get to see the lead asking about ages early on. And the fact, right?
I feel like it's always, I mean, remember when Becca was on and she was what, 20, 21? That was a huge, is she ready?
Sure, but that was like a unique thing for one person, and like Ari was my age at The Bachelor, but Ari had gray hair. And so he just looked 10 years older, and like the disparity of, and like just it looked weird. So it like almost needed to be addressed. I am just wondering how much, if at all, if the women like are kind of have to like pick their quote unquote guys early on, like one of these guys could like be like Brandon. He could be, that guy looks mature. I don't know. He could be a child. I have no idea. But like he could come out, make a great first impression, like take the Gabby, hit it off, and all of a sudden she's like, wait, you're 23?
Yeah, I'm 8 years older than you. Well, I feel like something we say in matchmaking a lot is that there's like age as it exists as your number, and then age as like a lifestyle thing. And I think probably the lifestyle thing will become apparent. And I also think even with like Gabby and Rachel, the way I conceive of them is like Rachel as being someone who seems so grounded, and like she's looking for so much of like a relationship to center. And I think for like that, I don't want to say settling down, but like to me, it just seems like in the approach they had, for example, to fantasy suites, like Gabby seemed very open to like exploration. So even with that,
Rachel seems a little bit more traditional, conservative, and I think we all agree that if we were guessing, Rachel kind of gave off the vibe of like settling down faster than, say, Gabby. We might be totally off. We know very little about these women, and that might just be something we see for the show. But I get what you're saying, where but there is the maternal clock is a real thing. You know, when do women want to maybe start planning and having a family? Didn't both Gabby and Rachel make reference to wanting kids someday, or am I making that up?
No, I'm pretty sure they both did.
Yeah, so like, does that play a role, dating a 23-year-old guy who might not be ready. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like the contestants make age more of a thing than the lead, but I don't know.
Chris.
Redondo Beach. Chris
Whatever.
30. He said whatever. Yeah.
Henley, you know, he
I feel
looks
like they could
like
have taken a better
he
photo.
looks like he took this photo. He's like, why am I fucking doing this shit?
This is the eyes are screaming not excited.
Yeah, right.
This is one of those photos that I pull up for my friends and I'm like, I swear he's hotter in person.
Yeah.
Like, I
That's
swear to God.
Every guy I've ever talked to, no, I swear, bro, I swear.
No, I
swear.
promise.
I promise. Just takes bad photos. Like his eyes are half asleep. Like what's going on?
Maybe he was like mid-run. I don't know.
Mid-run. Take a photo.
His friend dared him to go on the show.
He's like, what am I getting myself into?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh, Chris.
All right.
Rooting for
Oh,
you.
Colin.
Colin F. Finance
Colin,
from
big
Chicago.
finance guy.
Finance bro.
The
Big
F stands
finance
for
guy.
finance and fuckboy all at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, Chicago is a finance city. It's a heavy, like this guy
Wow.
is in River North
Yeah.
on the regular.
Yep.
Absolutely.
36 too. Like he he's mature.
Does he?
Like,
But also, hear me out. Does he have a little kind of Connor B vibe? Where like I could picture him crying at any moment. Colin F.
Connor B's older brother that, got a bit hardened from life.
Like
Right.
if Colin cried on night one, it wouldn't blow my mind.
No. But then play it off. You know
What
I'm
is
saying?
Colin's drink of choice?
Vodka cranberry.
I feel like- Oh no, not the vodka cran.
I'm just kidding.
Something on the rocks.
Something.
Yeah.
Something on the rocks.
I mean, he's a
Like
good
an
looking-
old fashioned.
he's a
you know?
good-looking guy.
I feel like he's one of those people who's like, it's all about the orange peel.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah, it's all about the orange peel. Garnish it right. I don't know if he'll make it far, honestly. I'm not getting that. Cute.
Corbin.
Corbin S.
Corbin S is cute.
Fuck boy.
Total.
He looks younger than the 23-year-old.
Baby face
Yeah.
for sure. Almost like a young Tyler Cameron, like a little, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Little
I
bit.
think he will do well at first.
Mhm.
Possible villain. Doesn't he look like a fuckboy?
Almost like
Yeah.
we get in a fight at a party.
Amanda
You
looks like
know?
I don't know what to say, but also like you look like you kind of have the hots for him.
Well, no, I
You're
feel
like,
like I'm like
yeah.
going back and forth because like when I
She's like,
first
I
saw
hate
him,
him, but-
I would let him
She's
fuckboy
like,
me.
oh
Yeah.
Shut up.
She's like, oh my God. He's
No,
cute.
I just think like if you were a sweetheart, then I'm like, oh my God, like cute dad at a barbecue energy. Like if you
dad at a barbecue?
if you were
I'm like, he's fighting
nice.
at a party.
Oh, I bet he makes a great first
I bet if
impression.
you were nice.
I bet he's
He
the
has
type of
game.
guy.
He has game.
He's the type of guy who prides himself for the parents loving him.
Mm.
Uh, but sometimes that's a red flag.
It's
I
okay.
that's what
I'll
I'm-
screenshot him for Amanda's phone
Shut
later.
up.
Oh my
No,
God.
But
He's
I
like
also-
parents love me, and they probably do at first, and then he's
At
like,
first, right.
yeah,
Then the red flags
I don't
come in.
know.
27, Alabama.
Eric
Okay.
is a dad.
He just looks like a good guy.
yeah.
He has Clayton energy.
Yeah.
Clayton energy for sure.
Like you see him yelling in a Viking costume.
Why outside in front of the window? Like who?
Yeah, with the palm tree.
Yeah,
Because he's
like-
from Santa Monica.
All these photos
Yeah,
are
so
wild
really
to
don't
me.
include the window.
Yeah.
I feel like him and Gabby could be goofy together.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Or he could be like a nice, kind of grounding presence.
Yeah.
But still have
Will
fun.
Will Rachel have like PTSD?
Clayton deja vu.
Yeah, Clayton
Mm.
PTSD vibes.
Maybe.
I mean, this is just a photo, and maybe for all we know, is Eric or Erich? It's Eric, right?
Probably.
gotta be
Yeah.
Eric.
Erich.
Right. Eric
Eric.
with a CH. He could be like 5'11", 175 pounds for all we know.
I don't know what any of that means.
Well,
How does that
She
proportion
said break
out?
it down.
Clayton is 6'5", 250 of muscle. You know what I'm saying? So while in this photo he looks like him,
Mm.
in person he
True.
might in no way.
He could come looking like Chris S. Just a little guy.
Yeah.
Skippy.
Like, hey, Skip.
Skip. I need to know how his name is pronounced. Erich?
Okay.
Ethan is cute.
I like
Ethan.
Ethan's style. Ethan's well dressed.
Ethan's
Well
a New
dressed.
Yorker.
Also-
Ethan's a big New Yorker.
Mm-hmm.
He took the time to have a nice little artistic background in this photo.
Yeah.
He said,
Way-
I'm artsy.
Way better than the rundown window in the background.
Yeah, I like Ethan. He seems sweet.
He's also from New York. New York people notoriously do terrible on this show.
Hmm.
Notoriously.
Why do you think that is?
Is anyone coming to mind, Nick?
No, well, I say this. No, not really. In the sense that they don't cast a lot from New York, and New York is a massive Bachelor fan base. Obviously,
Mhm.
it's the largest city in the world.
Mhm.
You would think they would just cast more people from that city. It's a city filled with good-looking, successful people.
Mhm.
It's just kind of wild that you don't get a lot of New Yorkers who do all that well. I mean, Sarah was from New York. She was like top 5 or 6. but
Bennett was based in New York.
Bennett, yeah. I mean, we've gotten a handful, but
True.
like, do you remember like a top 4 person or a win? It kind of, when I say like, compared to like the Nashville, Chicago, San Diego, like these cities that have like 4 or 5 contestants every season, and there's always like a frontrunner. But New York, the biggest city in the world with like some of the best looking people in the world, doesn't do all that well.
All of my friends who are dating in New York, though, I can't imagine them like taking the time to go on the show. I feel like in New York, like the dating culture is like so fast and crazy, and it's like
Right.
big same day date vibes. Like
Yeah, I don't
it's
know.
it's a brawl, it's a jungle out there, and I can't imagine them being like, "Wait, you want me to like go spend
Yeah,
8
yeah.
weeks getting to know one person? No way."
Yeah, I'm
Right.
curious what Ethan does for work, being
Mhm.
from New York.
Oh, is this Joe's brother?
Yeah, whoa. I was like, I know him.
Cutie.
Very handsome smile.
Hayden. Sweetheart. Family
Yeah.
guy.
Sweetie.
Very grocery store Joe smile.
Yeah.
I like
Gr-
him.
Good arms.
We could do a hometown date like Tyler Cameron's, go on the boat.
He could be very tall. I think this guy could do.
I think him and Rachel will hit it off.
He could do very well.
Mm-hmm.
Nick's into him. Look at his face.
Yeah, you're like, he could
Nick
be
is
very
focused
tall.
in. He's
He's a-
laser.
He's
Very handsome.
He's objectively very handsome. He's got great. With this picture alone, and
Yeah.
we've been nitpicking other pictures. We've been really like
It's a good
shallow
picture.
here. There's nothing to nitpick here.
It's a great photo.
Nothing to nitpick.
Great photo.
Hayden.
Great photo.
What a very like modern name. 29.
He looks like he has a good
I mean,
specs,
he's
too.
the perfect age for both women. Right in the middle.
Almost looks like
I think a
model.
woman took this
Yeah.
photo. I will say.
100%.
I believe a woman
You
took
can
this
tell
photo.
the difference. Like,
There's a river in the background.
Yeah.
Portrait mode.
like
Also-
aesthetically pleasing.
Right?
Like,
Yeah.
It's
This-
like you're already on the paddle boat for
This
the
is-
hometown date.
That's
Yeah.
here's what I'm saying. This is the guy who potentially the women could fight over.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
You
This-
heard it here
Uh-huh.
first.
This is the guy.
And he's 29, so he's right in between their ages.
Yeah, this is the guy where they're both like,
oh yeah.
"Who's your
he's-
top choice?" They're like, Hayden,
Hayden.
and they're like, "Bitch," you know, like,
I call dibs.
or he goes home night one. Who
Good
the fuck
job,
knows?
Hayden.
We're all shocked. Oh.
Jake.
Oh, Jake.
Does he have a man bun?
Is
My
he in a
first
gym?
impression was like, but he has like a model face with a really bad, like, had he not, does he have a ponytail?
I can't tell. That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? Is it gel? Like he's gelling his hair
Yeah,
back.
He's
Why is he in
For
like a
no
gymnasium?
reason.
the gymnasium's throwing me off.
Yeah. Is he a teacher?
But this is a good-looking guy. It's a terrible photo of a good-looking guy. Is my
To
my
me,
take.
he has to have an Australian accent to be hot. If he's Australian, hell yeah. If he's not,
Okay.
it's
Also-
the shirt. The shirt is really
the
throwing me
shirts.
off.
It's everything.
The shirt.
He's in a high school gym.
I want
He's
to
a
see
gym-
the back of his head
this-
so
Me
bad.
He's a
too. Like
teacher.
turn around, please.
Show us the back.
Yeah, he's definitely like a coach.
Yeah, and like his hair. I mean, this guy has so much potential.
That's true.
Yeah, the
and with
eyes.
guys, you can't really tell all the time with photos. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's always a
Mhm.
vibe. Maybe he walked in the room and you're like, he's hot. Like,
This
you know?
reminds me a lot of like the type of photo I submitted.
Oh, James.
Mixes.
You know, this guy, he's not 91. This guy is a shit starter. This is your Skippy of the season. He's from LA. And also the people from LA are always the people who like come out of the gates like you're like shocked what they're willing to say.
Mhm.
You know, it's just like, oh, so you came to be the villain.
Right.
Mhm.
Like you came to stir the pot.
I would say, yeah, the guys from LA specifically. I feel like girls we've had from California are, maybe I'm
Yeah.
wrong.
I think
Right.
James
I
is
can
going
think
to
of
walk
examples
into the
for both.
house night one and be intimidated, realize he has no shot to be a finalist, and just start mouthing off.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
I could see that.
He's going to annoy a lot of the other guys.
Ooh.
Hot.
Oh, yeah,
Jason
he's
is
cute.
hot.
Jason, we like you.
Also, like maybe
The hands in the pocket is a bold move.
30, also age appropriate for both women.
Uh-huh.
Like, so maybe
I like the soft smile.
like Gabby's like, listen, I get Jason, you get Hayden.
Yeah, there you
Mm.
go.
Maybe they
split 'em
start
That's the
wheeling
trade.
and dealing.
Split them
That's
up.
the trade.
This guy's a total babe.
Total. I like that he's soft smiling too. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm confident.
He has
like,
confidence.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
So like, and also Hayden's a little bulkier, bigger arms. Jason's more slender. He has more my body type. He's like a 40 regular.
Are we sending him pants?
A suit jacket. That's
Okay.
it, yeah.
Do you remember that?
40 regular. Break it down again. She goes, break it down.
Oh, God.
Joey.
This guy's
Joey.
one of the
He's
twins.
one of the twins.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's on there because he's a twin. That's it.
Correct.
Twin.
So he'll be there for a couple weeks. 'cause
Would
he's
you
a
die
twin.
if their photo, I mean, obviously we haven't seen the other twin, was just
They look
split
the
in
same.
half? No, but like what if it was a photo of the two of them and they just chopped it into two?
Oh my
They
God, I
cropped
love
each other
that.
out.
I mean, these
Literally
guys look
cut.
like Frat boys, 24.
Just like a little young, immature.
yeah.
For sure, immature.
I think they're there.
But he's
'cause
like
they're
cute.
twins.
I think he's cute.
Yeah, sure.
Ooh, John.
Really?
I just thought he looked nice. He
John-
looks friendly.
He's a really sweet guy. I feel like he wouldn't hurt a fly.
Yeah.
Portrait mode is really out here.
Johnny D.
Johnny D. Interesting guy.
Takes himself very seriously.
Yeah.
Very seriously. I wonder what he does for work. Johnny D. 25.
Foreman or something.
He was very popular
Oh.
in high school.
Jordan.
Abercrombie model.
Jordan's trying to model real hard.
Is he
Literally.
farting in this photo?
It just
The
screams
way he's like looking up.
Wait, Ella, as a model, break this down. What's going on here?
Well, you know what screams is like back in the day when the Abercrombie male models would stand outside, or like the Hollister guys, like
Yeah.
shirtless. Like he would be the guy with like
Yeah.
the surfer
He
hair
looks
with like
so uncomfortable.
he's kind of looking off frame, which is not like it's almost wanting to be model-esque, like looking away. It's like, why aren't you looking at the camera, my guy?
My guy.
But he looks like he could be a very, handsome fellow.
Mm-hmm.
But
He seems like he'd cause some trouble.
Yeah, the hair.
Nice guy, Jordan B.
Jordan's a little Southern boy.
yeah, he could. If he comes out with a strong Southern twang,
You think he'll sound like Natalie?
Jordan.
when
Little
Natalie,
accent?
when Natalie wants to show her accent, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he'll make it far. Actually, he has like I think an underlying spice to him.
Yeah, I could see it.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like everyone will be like, "Oh, nice guy." No, I think he's spicy.
There's
There's something there. There's something there.
Mischievous.
Yeah, there's something.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Justin B.
He's boringly handsome.
Interesting way to put it.
no.
Yeah, it's not hitting for
Amanda's
me.
like, I'd fuck him.
Stop. Everyone Amanda hates. She's like, but I would
No.
fuck him.
But-
You can, the way, when you answer, it's so like rich with your nah.
Nah.
She's already like
The smirk. Nah.
I'm taking well, no, because I second guess
they
myself.
both have their clothes off and her head.
Oh my God.
Stop! How dare you imply that I would sexualize these men? I would never
How
sexualize.
dare you?
I would never sexualize these men. No, I just mean because I think my gut reaction is always like, what do they sound like when they open their mouth?
Yeah.
So then I try to just like cut it off and be like, what's the visceral like?
Good teeth. I mean, all we
Like a
have is
horse?
pictures here and a first name
I'm
and where they're
dying
from.
right now.
This is the most
I like
fun
his
I've ever
shirt.
had. I like his shirt.
Oh, the other twins.
Yeah,
They
they're
are
twins.
on the same
Okay.
porch. They took them together.
Like I'm 24 and he looks like way younger than I feel
like
too young.
this is not saying much, but it's like we're either gonna love them or really hate them.
Oh, I don't know.
I feel like they're gonna come out and be like a comedy act.
yeah, like keep him there for the comedy.
I literally feel like they were like, does anyone know any twins?
Mm.
We need to get
It's like
twins on
every
show.
producer post on your Instagram
We
story.
just need some twins. Great, we'll take it. Whatever.
24 sold.
Doesn't matter. We don't even care what they look like.
Right,
Let's
they're
bring 'em
on.
They're
Yep.
on.
I could see that.
Alrighty. Kirk.
Dad
Kirk.
energy.
Christian.
Big dad energy.
Kirk
Cross.
is ready
Religious.
to-
Well, he's from Texas. Got a big cross on his chest. I could see him doing well.
Really?
With who?
Rachel.
Mm.
He's really into fitness.
Coy looks like he might have been in the military
Yeah.
for a little bit.
Yeah.
Also,
Like, he
strict diet.
He went to like a service academy or
Strict
something.
clean diet.
Yeah.
ROTC.
All
This-
about the macros.
This guy'd be a nightmare to date, dietary wise.
Yeah.
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 The fridge
Big
is
on
just
weighing
like,
his food.
like all like
Tupperware,
Tupperware
labeled
containers
Tupperware,
of meal
yeah.
prep
Chicken
foods.
breast only.
Yeah.
Chicken, yeah.
Some
I
spinach.
Grilled
can't wait. I
veggies.
can't wait till we're so wrong about all these.
I
I'm
know.
nervous
I
now
can't
to
wait
look
till
back
he's
on
like a
this.
nuanced poet
Right?
who loves
Right.
like, pizza.
Right
Like,
off the bat, guys.
yeah.
Like, obviously, we have no fucking clue anything about these guys.
Nope.
Like just simply off, assumption.
Logan P.
Logan P.
Logan P
mm,
looks like you could swap out that shirt for like a tank top and it could be on the Soul Cycle website.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I think he meditates.
It's not giving me much.
Yeah.
I can't read this one.
Night one.
Yeah.
Bye, Logan. Ooh.
Mm.
Okay.
Mario. Okay.
He's funny.
Awesome
He's funny.
smile. Awesome smile.
You can tell he'll make you laugh.
Good energy.
Good vibes.
He's one of those like he may not like be like he's obviously handsome. All these guys are handsome. So like when but he might not be the pretty boy of the group,
Mm-hmm.
right? Per se. Like, Rodney. Obviously Rodney is a very attractive guy. But like compared to like Nate and Joe, who are like objectively supermodels,
Mm-hmm.
it was like Rodney was like even Rodney, you heard him say like I lead with like my humor, my personality, my charm, and I can see this kind of energy where
Mhm.
he does very well and he's like goes very far because he is handsome,
Mhm.
and I bet he's very easy to vibe with
Yeah.
and connect with,
Fun to be around.
and very safe to and that plays such a huge role in like
Mhm.
an ability to like just get on anyone's level. And I could see Mario.
But I want to see him in a suit. You know, I want to see him in a suit because I think maybe he wears a suit and it's like, oh damn.
Well, again, I'm not, he's obviously a very handsome guy.
We want to see him in
I
the
know
suit.
that's what you're saying. I just
Matt.
He looks a little nervous there.
Matt.
My guy.
He looks like a Matt. Matt.
Mhm.
Matt energy.
His
The veins are
veins.
popping. Big vein guy.
Is he like clenching his fist so
Yeah, he's, like,
hard
under
beneath
the-
the camera, like the Arthur meme?
It's like if you're gonna flex, take off your shirt.
yeah.
Right.
Michael.
Michael V. Long
Michael's got
Beach.
an interesting tuck.
Someone gave him
situation.
bad advice.
Yeah.
These photos are killing me. Like,
Which tells me this guy's going to go far because he takes bad advice.
yeah. What's going on here?
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, yeah, whatever you do. Should I tuck in one shirt, leave the one out? Yeah, great. Sure, do that.
Neat.
Another Chicago
Art house
boy.
DJ.
Mm-hmm.
House DJ?
Like art house DJ.
Oh, right. I could see that.
Also, he used to be a barista at some point in his life.
Mhm. Can still make a
Can
really
totally
nice like
see
latte foam art.
He's
Yeah,
also beautiful.
he is
Yeah.
good model.
Hot barista
Yeah.
energy.
Yes. Yes.
He got a lot of dates just by like making really good lattes.
I could see him doing like yoga too. Like just like a namaste.
From Chicago,
This
right?
photo,
Good background.
take this in.
Great dresser too.
Prep yourself for the next one. Oof.
No.
Oh.
What?
Wait.
Boy, just the difference.
Nick.
Nick. Nick.
His name's Nick. Yeah.
Nick, we were rooting for you, Nick.
We were all rooting for you.
Like, come on. Not that photo.
The angle, the shadow, the fence.
Not
It
one girl.
looked like
could
his
help him
parole
out.
officer took it.
I have so many questions on this photo. This, like,
Oh, let's just get rid of it.
I can't look at
Next.
it.
Oh my.
Oh,
Quincy.
shit. Quincy, what's up?
It's like too much though.
Is
It's
it?
a lot.
He's that hot. He can get
I
away
think
with
so.
it. He's so hot that like whatever douche that's in this photo, we just forgive.
But like, I could see why it could be too much because it's like, all right, chill, bro. We get you're good looking. Like, you hired a photographer to do this whole shoot, but like, yeah, you're really handsome.
These are really good looking men.
Mm-hmm.
That might be the best looking one here. I think.
From
You-
Miami,
yeah.
though. He's
Mhm.
from Miami.
Big partier. Big partier.
Big party.
Big party.
Why does Roby look like he might have an
Is
accent?
it Roby or Robbie?
Oh, sorry.
Robbie.
He actually looks like a
Robot?
guy he's like no, it's Roby.
Like
Like,
I,
we'll correct you.
he
like,
looks like he could be
No,
in like a
and
Jane
he looks like the
Austen.
guy. You remember? He has stupid random facts about everything.
Yes.
And he's the guy who's always like, you know
Yes.
what? In the 15th century, apparently,
Or
whatever the
he's
fuck.
an earnest nerd. Maybe he's not a pretentious
like the
nerd.
memes where it's like no one, and then it's Robbie,
Yeah.
and he like comes out with some random fact. Like, okay, here we go.
He,
Like,
he definitely knows how to play the guitar.
Yep.
at least four
That's
instruments.
also the vibe I got. Connor B, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know about him.
Boston.
Okay, you know who he reminds me of is Jordan Rogers.
Yeah.
Oh,
I get that
totally.
vibe.
Do you know what I mean?
Man, do you love him because he's from
I
Boston?
do, and I think he's 35, and he looks great, and I think he's done his time. I think he might have been a fuckboy in his 20s, but I think he's like reflected.
Mm-hmm.
He was a fuckboy, but also someone really broke his heart.
Yeah, I think he's reformed.
Yeah,
A reformed fuckboy.
reformed fuckboy. Like came past it.
Yeah, he kind of almost had
I think he'll make it far.
I think he has almost like possible winter vibes that you might
Mm-hmm.
not, again, we're nitpicking here. He's obviously a very handsome guy, not
Mhm.
model beautiful like some of these other guys might be, but like super handsome.
I could see him shaking hands with Rachel's dad.
Spencer.
We got a lot of Chicago boys.
That's typical.
Oh,
He seems sweet.
Really?
He seems sweet. No, you don't think so?
River North vibes for me.
All right. Respect, Spencer.
I just feel like he might be popping.
Like a little fratty.
Yeah, he's like a 8 on the potential club.
Oh yeah, that we were
scale.
rating 1 to 10.
Yeah.
Tremaine. He's cute.
Yeah. His
so
background.
wait,
It's a baggy shirt.
Mario, the guy who Amanda wants to see in a suit, is also from Naperville. Do we think they know each other?
Oh.
Naperville's not that's
Wouldn't-
big enough actually.
Good point.
But they
Could be drama on
hook
night
up with
one.
the
Right.
They like
person?
heard about each other
Yeah.
in the scene.
Super competitive night
Yeah.
one.
You certainly know that they will ask around.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know?
Tino.
Tino.
Plato, Ray, California.
Tino.
Another pained smile.
Yeah. I don't know.
I feel like that was like his 700th photo. He's like, did we get it? Like,
Did we get it?
Like, can we be done with
Like,
this,
I'm
please?
over it.
It's like, I appreciate the water background, but like,
Okay.
Oh, we got another handsome.
Tyler.
he looks like a young Ben Higgins.
He seems
in
like
the
he's a real
face.
estate guy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he reminds me of the age that I was. Well, he's 25. Yeah, exactly. Where he has all the desire to be a good dresser and he has the bones of a good dresser, but he hasn't quite figured it out. Like that pocket square, what the fuck's going on there? Way too high. You
Yeah.
know?
That's so funny. I didn't even like
Also,
notice
the
that.
fold is not appropriate.
That's what I'm saying. Like aesthetically,
He's a great face.
People tell him he's a good dresser all the time, and in Rio Grande, New Jersey, he probably is, but like it's missing the finer detail. And I
Mhm.
made a lot of those fashion mistakes at 25.
Mhm.
I made a ton of fashion mistakes on The Bachelor. But yeah, he I can't tell if he's super nice or a total fuckboy.
I know. It could be
Mhm.
either one. He could sway either way.
Yep. And finally, Zach. He has Chris S.
He looks
almost
nice.
Do you know this
tendencies.
man?
No,
Or look.
no, but like I've seen him like copy and pasted on the show.
I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, we used to do it. No, I'm kidding. No, but he looks familiar.
Also in front of a window.
Mhm.
What are
the windows.
What are these windows? I mean, this is a nicer window.
I think he's cute. He's cool.
No, he has a very nice. He looks nice.
approachable.
Okay.
That's not the photo. That's like the Bachelor photo.
What?
Yeah,
that's
the
the
professional one.
notorious Bachelor photo. That's terrible. Not the
Bring it
one I
out.
submitted. It might not. It would be me in a scarf, like looking up and away.
Were you looking up and away?
Yeah.
That's so
I'm
artsy.
dead. I was just roasting the other guy for looking
Oh,
away.
No, mine's terrible. Like
That's so funny. I need to see
mine's-
it now.
If we brought up mine, if my photo was part of, we'd be like, night one.
I'm dead.
They're all.
Who
like,
took your
all of these-
photo?
my buddy.
Where was it?
At
Where
his
were
house.
you? Oh my god, that's so good.
Mine. All of these photos are better than what I submitted
Really?
Yeah.
Were you inside or outside?
inside.
Inside.
Terrible lighting.
Were you just like fuck it? Like I'd just take the photo.
Oh, I was trying very hard.
That's the worst part.
Good
It's
of you
okay.
to admit.
No, I was trying my
Yeah.
absolute hardest. Yeah.
It's okay.
So,
The looking off. I need to see
So-
this.
so if you're like related to any of these guys or
Yeah.
friends, like we're not.
I'm terrible at photos.
We don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is not
so,
coming from a place of
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
I could do
everyone
better.
everyone seems great. You know.
All right. So who do we think top 4 for both? So we have Hayden and who's the other?
I thought Quincy.
Quincy.
There was someone else in the beginning though that we were like, yeah.
Mario is the one that Amanda wants to see in a suit in the hoodie from Chicago. I thought he was going to go far.
I think Ryan from Boston.
Not Jason. Am I the only one who think Jason is like
Jason, you said
he's like a hot?
one of them will have Jason, the other one
No,
will
I
have
know,
Hayden.
but like I feel like I
Oh,
was
right.
the only one saying that. He's like a hot Michael Bublé.
Michael Bublé.
Is Michael Bublé
He also,
not hot?
but he also might be. He's from Santa Monica, so he could be like
Yeah, the
surfer
personality.
boy. What's up? Doesn't really say anything. He could be like too hot for his own good with no personality.
Yeah. Yeah. And like,
Jason's cute. Jason's cute.
No, he's super
There's
cute, but
something
like
mysterious about him.
he could easily like not go far.
he looks like he gives good massages. You know what I mean?
But also,
Like, is he a 30-year-old bartender in Santa Monica, or is
Is
he
he someone who volunteers like once a month
Yeah,
at like an organization?
it really could go either way.
and is it like charming and mysterious or like creepy? Like I can't
Mm,
tell.
it's really-
Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Let's just for fun pick out a top 4 for both. Obviously, we're going off. Ryan M. Top 4 for Rachel. Ryan M. Boston,
Mhm.
Massachusetts, 35.
Totally. I think either one, honestly.
This guy gives me the most Clayton energy, and not like, and I say that loosely, but like,
This man does not tell 3 women he's in love with them. Look at his eyes.
It's so Jordan Rogers.
yeah, only
to me.
because he's 35. But
Sure. That's fair.
27-year-old
That's fair.
version of him might have.
True.
Yeah, it's like if Clayton and Jordan had a baby.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mario is top 4 and one of the women.
Mario has some swag.
Which one's Mario?
Okay, when
One of
Like
the
you're
Naperville boys.
Quincy for you. I just think
Quincy's for me.
he takes himself. I think this world is not for him.
do we think he did
Really?
this shoot for this purpose, or did he already have this photo?
100%.
That's a great question. And if
modeling
he did it
photo.
for the purpose, then he's definitely going home.
He's in it for the wrong reasons.
Instantly.
Yeah.
Maybe he already had it.
This looks like
That's like from his Instagram.
He
Like,
could be
had-
he could be a guy who like walks up, he like does all the Bachelor puns, like he like, hey, can I introduce it break? You know what I'm saying? He knows too much about the show. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like
yeah.
that type of energy.
This is very much like submitted to like an agency. Like
Like,
this is so modeling.
If this is like from 2 years ago when he was modeling, totally fine. If he did this for the show,
different.
Where did you
different.
get this background, sir? If you did this for the show?
well, I mean, he's clearly model hot. So the fact
It's
that
in a
he could
studio.
easily be
Yeah,
a
it
model
feels
and he's
like a
just like,
studio.
here,
It's a studio
here's
shoot.
all
Yeah.
these. But I know that they ask for not professional photos.
Oh, so he broke the
Oh.
rules.
Well, I mean, this was
He
like
said, "Let me
7 years
pop
ago,
off."
but they
Yeah.
ask for like
Normal.
normal photos
Because they
don't-
want to see like what
you look like.
not retouched. Like yeah.
Ella's gonna walk into a shoot and Quincy's gonna be there.
I think
Hi.
I think Mario is going to be top 4 because I think he has.
I do too.
And he has the energy of like he can navigate this world.
He also has game. Like he has game.
Yeah.
The way he's just even like holding his hands.
Most people can't pull off a gold chain. It's not a gold chain, but like a necklace of. It looks
Some
really good
jewelry.
on him. I feel like Jake could surprise people if he like comes out with a different haircut.
Which one?
Like
Oh.
Giselle,
cute.
possible ponytail.
Oh, no.
Wait, the other guy was
Oh,
cute. The
that
blonde
guy.
one. He seems like mature and like
I
ready
just
to
think
settle.
there's so many wrong things in this photo that like it could just be the photo.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like he could be really hot in real life.
Mm.
I think Jordan V and Gabby. Jordan V's
V.
got to go far. He's the one that has spice to him.
Which one's him? Jordan V.
Jordan V looks okay. Abercrombie want to be like a can. Jordan V.
Oh, from
He's-
Georgia.
He's going far.
You know what? You could,
Mark my words.
if you get it right, it'd be very impressive because no one would guess
No
that
one else thinks
based
here.
off the photo. I see what you're saying. Listen, we don't know
He's-
anything about these
I
guys, so it's
know.
a total crapshoot. Like,
Yeah.
You
I
know?
think him and Gabby are gonna.
I
vibe,
can see that. I
And
see what you're seeing.
You know.
Yeah.
he could have incredible swag.
Yeah.
That kind of
Uh-huh.
Georgia swag.
You know it well.
I feel like guys don't
disarmingly.
take great photos either, and like that's a good photo. Like there's some good photos in here. So, but
I also think Justin B.
oh yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe.
I don't know.
know.
Yeah, maybe.
I feel like for me, Justin B gives me the vibes of. Oh, he's from. He's
Solana
32
Beach.
from Southern California. What I was going to say is he seemed like the guy who's always he's good looking his whole life in his community, like big fish, small pond. But he's from Southern California, and there's just like objectively a lot of
Hotties.
hot people from Southern California. So I would
Mhm.
that might not like if you're from the beach from California, like you just I don't know. It's just there's like a hotness in the air. Because that's the thing. The Bachelor is notorious for like casting like hot, awkward men. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like guys who like all they know is that they're good looking and they got away with it because it required no additional skill set
Mm-hmm.
in like their small towns.
Mm-hmm.
And then
And then this is how it happens.
and like then you get like weird that kind of weird like weird energy on the show. Yeah, maybe 32.
What about Erich? Erich from Santa Monica. Erich S.
I mean,
Kind of Clayton vibes, right? Right? Like, wasn't he kind of Clayton vibes?
I could see him being kind of surprising front runner. He just has that
Charming.
wholesome look.
Family Guy would be good to like settle
And we
down
can't
with,
forget about our favorite New Yorker, Ethan.
with the style.
Yeah, let's go, Ethan. I'm rooting
Yeah.
for Ethan. I don't know
Let's
if I
go,
think he's
Ethan.
gonna do well, but I want him to.
Yeah, he seems like a
There's
good
something
one.
about I think the element from being from New York is I have other things going on. I don't need this bullshit once they get in. Like, there's always like a handful of people. And fuck, night one, I remember being like, why am I here? I'm fucking leaving. And then and if it weren't for getting the first impression rose, it completely changed my like like mindset of like locking in, because there was like the first 3 hours, I'm like, this is insane. I have to get the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be really hit or miss. And I feel like depending on what he does for a living, he's from New York, 27, to still be in New York at 27, you've probably found some level of success, because otherwise you're just like forced to move.
Good aesthetic.
We'll see. And just like being from New York, it's
Dice roll.
a roll. Yeah.
roll.
Well,
Good group.
yeah.
I'm excited.
Good looking group.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, good looking group. We have not much to go on. Ella, you were wonderful.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. You'll have to come back and recap an episode. with
Yeah.
us.
So fun.
I feel like
down.
you're rich with insight and hot takes.
Rich. I just speak what's on the mind, just really leave it all out.
Amazing. Where can my audience find you and continue to consume more of the amazing things that you're doing?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Ella Halikas. And I'm here for all the confidence, body positivity, self-love, baby. I'll hype you up. So I use my hands a lot. Yeah, follow me.
Amazing.
Let's get in touch.
Well, thank you so much for coming. And
Yeah.
thank you, listener, for listening along.
Dear listener.
Dear listener, thank you.
Tomorrow, big episode. The one, the only Shane from Love is Blind 2
Jeesh.
will be joining us. He's going to be in the studio momentarily. So many burning questions. I've never had a guest hype up his or her appearance as much as Shane. I hope he brings it. There's a lot.
It's exciting.
I'm very grateful for Shane, because like he's from Wisconsin. I think he wanted to do this show. He's not done any other interviews. I think he's been off doing other in his personal life stuff. So he's been a combination of being unavailable and so, but he's here, and I think he's ready to put all out there. So tomorrow, midnight,
Stay tuned.
Pacific time, 3 a.m. for your early risers on Wednesday. So get ready. It's going to be wild.
Be a good one. The tea's hot.
Hey guys, thanks for watching, but before you go, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss any future videos, like our Mondays Ask Nick, especially if you're looking for some relationship stories and relationship advice, as well as our Wednesday interviews with your favorite celebrities and experts. See you next time.